recording. Yes. I got so many things on my mind. I'm trying to get everything in place.
That's such an easy one. Yeah.
Right. The easiest thing is always the hardest to
Or
remember.
or or when you come back from break, then you can reinstall it. Yeah.
Yes. Um, Now, you all have access to the sample course with data on your sandbox. Um, so if you do log in, actually, if you register and log in to your sandbox, you should have access to this course. If you don't, just let me know, and I will help you help you gain access to that course. I think there was a question. Oh, you haven't tried yet, Sarah. Yes, please try because again, with practice, that's the best way to learn is to jump in and begin trying out the new system, Brightspace. I think that's the
Jose,
best way to learn.
I'm still not getting entries. So, have you gotten any feedback from your the ticket?
Sure, Patricia, maybe we can get together and then after this, and then maybe we are meeting after. I think we are meeting after this. So
No,
we
not
can.
today, but that would be wonderful. But
Oh, that's right. That's
we have
right. It's
plenty of time.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but
No,
if,
no.
if you want, after the workshop, we can get together because I will stay after 2 o'clock in case anyone has any questions.
Okay.
Um, so I just want to show you from the sample course what an assignment looks like in Brightspace. So this again is the sample course with data. This is an English 1101 course, and here on the left-hand side, last week we talked about navigation, we talked about the mini bar, we talked about, all these icons at the top, and most importantly is, which we talked about last week also, was switching between the instructor and the student. And as I've been playing with Brightspace for the last few weeks, this is something that happens more often than when I was on Blackboard. I sometimes forget if I'm as a student or as an instructor. So this will take time getting used to, or for me, it has taken some time getting used to switching between a student and an
Yeah.
instructor. Um, have you experienced the same, Patricia, on
Oh,
that?
definitely. Oh, definitely.
Right, switching. So keeping an eye on, because if you do see something, if you're trying to modify the course and it's not allowing you, is most likely the reason is that you're logged in as a student, and that can drive you nuts because if you're wondering how come I can't add a quiz or I can't add a discussion forum or modify something within my course, always go up at the top right corner and check and make sure that you're logged in as an instructor, not as a student, because as a professor you have the ability to switch between a student and a professor. So if that happens to you, always look here at the top and make sure that you are logged in as an instructor if you're looking to change or modify your course. But if you're looking to preview the course as a student, this is a great feature for you to go in as a student and see what the student will see once they actually log into your course. So it's a valuable tool for you to go in as a student and see what your students actually will see when they log into your course. Okay, so I'm going to go to week 2, or unit 2 in this case, because again, I want to show you what it looks like, and then we'll create one ourselves. So I just want to show you what an assignment looks like in Brightspace. So I'm going to jump straight to unit 2, and notice I'm in as a student, right? Because I want to see this from the student's perspective. All right, so let's start from the top, introduction to unit 2, introduction to nonfiction writing. Again, we mentioned last week how Brightspace works from left to right, which is a great thing. I love that feature, being able to just click on the right or go to the left and experience the course in that sequential manner from left to right. This seems to be a PDF document, but I'm going to continue forward until we get to the assignment. All right, and so here is another document. Here is some kind of PDF that's embedded to the course. Let's continue forward. Here's a video. And here we get to a to-do list, and here is write your first review. And you know, I don't know if you teach online or if you're just a face-to-face professor, but if you taught online and you've taken our training, we cover in depth in how to write instructions, right, for an assignment. I say always take advantage of this the area here so that you can give precise instruction on what the students need to do. Also, you notice that there's some blue links in here, so you can also add links to your instructions. Here are, you know, watch an infographic. Take a look at the infographic. So if I click on the infographic link, it will open up the graphic, right? Because they would need to watch, or they need to see the infographic to be able to do this assignment, right? If I go back to the assignment, there's also a, oops, let me go forward. There's also a video that you can add to the assignment, right? The 3-minute video right here. So that's something else that you can add as, you know, as you are creating assignments for your students.
So it's kind of scaffolding. You're reviewing or showing them you had to have done this and done this in order to go to do this.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, and not only that too, but if it's detailed instructions and you rather say it in words, you know, orally than just typing the instructions, you can add a video just to make it clear. And this aligns very well with online students, because even in a face-to-face class, you're able to talk to your students and give them instructions. Not only that, but you can also stage questions if students have any questions. But in an online course, you might just want to add a video in there, not only to humanize the experience between teacher and student, but also just to make it clear to them what it is that you want them to do. A rubric is another great way. We're not going to cover rubrics today, but a rubric is a great way also to kind of, like Patricia just said, to then let them know what it is that you're looking from them, right? What is the learning objectives? What it is that you want them to do? So another way to create a great assignment is add a rubric to it and make it visible to the student before they even go into the assignment, so they know what it is that you're looking for. Some other faculty
I put right now, and of course I'm talking Blackboard, but in my online course, in my Unit 8, on the outside of it, I put the rubric. I don't really put it inside the assignment itself. Do you suggest, is that good practice, or what do you think?
I think it's okay. Depend on you as a teacher. You know, if you're not using the rubric to grade the assignment, then it's okay. You can put it outside of the assignment and have it as an image so the student can see the rubric. But if you are looking to grade the assignment with the rubric, which will make grading easier and quicker, but again, it's up to you to decide. If you have a way of doing things and you don't need the rubric to grade and you prefer not to use the rubric, that's okay too. You know,
But just to give them a sense of, here's, in that sense, at that point, it is a review of what they've been taught in other units, but it's now consolidated. Here's the sense of it as just an image.
Hey, I always say something is always better than nothing, right? If you're willing to do that extra work so that your students can provide you higher quality work, and most likely you will get higher quality work when you provide clear instructions, a nice rubric. Some faculty like to do examples, some don't. That's a little iffy. You know, some like to give examples, but some, you know, because they want to. And some professor will tell me, no, I don't like to give examples because that will, it would it would stop them from being more creative because now they see someone else's work and they might, that kind of thing. So again,
Yeah.
that's something that you can think about as you are creating the assignment. I think I heard a question. Let's see,
Well,
Sarah.
Sarah was saying about the being a gradable rubric.
Oh,
She says
that's a
it
great.
depends a lot on the kind of assignments if we can build a gradable rubric.
That's a great question. That could take us deep into now assessment and what type of assessment. I'll answer real quick because I can easily get lost in that world of assessments with as a formative assessments, summative assessments, and those type
Oh,
of assessments, authentic assessments. There's so many type of assessments, um, and it depends if you're teaching an online course or a face-to-face course. With an online course, I am a big proponent of many formative assessments because it could be very quiet in the online world and you don't know what your students are doing if you don't give them assessments. But then if you give them assessments and they're not gradable, you have to be careful because then if there's no grade attached to an assessment, then it's unlikely they will do it. So again, this is all based on your pedagogy as a teacher and where are you, your teaching style and those type of things. But that's a bigger conversation we can have, Sarah, later because I'm trying to keep it a little bit closer to Brightspace and Brightspace assignment. But it's a great question. I don't know if anybody want to
so
jump
I guess
ask.
if we are including the rubric, then that is an authentic assessment. Am I correct?
Well, by authentic
Or
assessment,
you're using it, right, to grade?
an example like what I mean by an authentic assessment would be a perfect example would be using voice threads so that your students if you're afraid of students cheating in a multiple choice and an open book test and you want to get more of an authentic way to assess your students, you can have them record their voice just like you do, Patricia, in your course, and then have your students tell you what they know. That's more of an authentic, what I mean by an authentic assessment, right? So that the students either go on voice thread
But
and every half.
not necessarily using a designed rubric.
Right. The rubric will be optional, but I always recommend a rubric again because of clarity as to what you want your students to do, and also from the perspective of the professor to speed up the grading. If you have a rubric, you can quickly check off all those boxes, and then give based on the criteria that you have set for that rubric and achievements. You can have feedback directly created within the rubric that students automatically get they'll get those feedback automatically from the rubric. And that was the same case in Blackboard. And that also carries over to Brightspace. If you do use a rubric, you will have those auto feedbacks given to the students based on the criteria that you set on the rubric and the achievement levels. But again, that's something for another, that's a bigger workshop. Um, so here we're in as a student and we're going to write your first review. So I just want to show you in Brightspace how a student will encounter an assignment. In Blackboard, we used to say Dropbox assignment. I don't know, we'll carry over the same terminology, but this is what I'm referring to. It works very similar to how an assignment looks like in Blackboard. So there's not much change here. Only from the perspective of the professor, there is much more change. So this is how the student would see an assignment. Right here, you have the instructions. Here is an attachment. Here is a PDF. Right, so I can open this up, and this is some example. This is a Word doc. As you see, it downloaded to my computer. And if I open that, the student can then, here is the template that you want your students to follow, right? Give me the hook, the map, the paraphrase. So this is something that you can attach a document to the assignment, and then the student will download the document, and they can use that to then, they can open that document and then work off the document and then upload the document back up to the professor. So let's do a little bit of role playing here. As I'm in as a student, so I'm going to then click upload, and this is the document that I just downloaded. Right? Let's say I worked on it and I finished working on the document. Now I want to upload my submission to this assignment in Brightspace. So I have it selected. and then I click open. And then you'll notice that the assignment gets attached, the submission gets attached. This works exactly the same way in Blackboard. This is no different than what we've been doing on Blackboard. You see the file size, there is a 2 gig, which is a big file size, so there's no need to worry about, the file, Brightspace not accepting the document. Then the student can add a comment to the professor here. Maybe I was late, professor, I'm sorry, or whatever. The student can write a comment and attach the comment to the submission. This was the same in Blackboard, so this is no different than Blackboard. Then the student clicks submit. And then you said, are you sure you want to in this case, I already had done this. I was practicing before the workshop today, so I was just making sure this works. So in this case, this is not unlimited attempts. And I'll show you later when we go to the professor side, the teacher side, how you can change those settings, whether it's unlimited attempts, or do you want to limit it to 1 attempt or 2 or 3 attempts. This you can control from your side of, from the professor perspective. So we're going to click yes. I'm going to override my previous attempt. The reason why I want to do that is because I want to show you that the student receives an email confirmation, and that email confirmation is sent to their FIT inbox. This works the same as in Blackboard, right? And so the student will receive, and there it is, right? D2L support, submission receipt, and you get a submission ID number. So if the professor says, well, I never got your paper, the student can show the receipt, this email receipt, to the professor and say, well, look, I have proof that I submitted my work, and with the date stamped. So this works exactly the same in Blackboard. This does not change. I think there was a question. Oh, so yes. So Cynthia, that's a great question. I'm going to cover that from the professor side, right? How can you determine which type of file types can you accept for a submission, whether you want to limit it to a PDF or a Word document? That was something that we could not control in Blackboard, but with Brightspace, you can control that, Cynthia. Hoping I'm pronouncing that right. So let's switch now from the student over to the professor, right? So remember, again, you have to go here to the top right corner, and you click on the X, and this might change once we have our FIT official instance. All right, so here I'm going to switch now back to the instructor. All right, so now we're going, and now we want to go see my Jose's submission as a professor, right? You can go to grades. And here, so it's using me as a sample student. All right, so I have to go in here. This is what the gradebook will look. We're not going to cover the gradebook as a little bit more advanced, maybe in future workshops ahead in the future. But let's take a look at my submission. Okay, and so here you can see there's a couple of submissions that I've been playing with, and here's a poetry slam. This is how you would see students work, right? Here's the first review, right? And so you can put the grade in there. So this is where you would plop in grades, right? This is like similar to Blackboard needs grading. But I want to show you also that you can go over here. Let me see if I find this. Hopefully I did this right. So from here, write review. Where is it? There used to be a button that says assess topic. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here we go. All right. So from the content area of the course, I went directly to the assignment. And then from here, there's 3 tabs. You can see the activity details. Remember, you can only see this as a professor. right? So remember, it was unlimited attempts, you know, and all the settings were done on this end. There's also another part here for learning objectives, but that we won't talk about today. This tab, the third from the left, as you can see, there's 3 tabs. Completion summary. We did not have this in Blackboard. And I love this feature, and I think you will too, because on a snapshot, from one view, you can see who did the work and who didn't do the work, right? Automatically, right away. And it tells you completed, you know, such and such date, the grade on the right-hand side, the student's named on the left-hand side. So I love this feature. I think you will find this very helpful because right straight from the course content area, you can tell who's doing the work and who's not doing the work. So here is my submission, student sample, right? So if I go, oops, I didn't want to go there, but you can do it that way. I can click on the student's name, but what I wanted to go is, let me go back 1 second, sorry about that. Back to completion summary. You can actually filter completed, incomplete, right? So there's another way for you to look at who's done the work, who hasn't done, and filter the work. So it doesn't look overwhelming after having, you know, 20 plus students. It could get a little too, it could get daunting, right? So here are some students. This is sample data. Again, this is all there for you if you go into the sandbox. If, for example, if I go to this student and I click on this one submission, and here we go. So this looks similar to Blackboard when you're annotating and doing markups, but I found it easier to use than in Blackboard. I found it easier and much more intuitive. So these buttons are almost similar to how it looks on Blackboard grading, but here you can, you know, zoom in, zoom out, change the perspective of how you see the student's submission by going here. You can do an outline or bookmarks, you know, and then you can change from one page to the next page. But this is where I thought it really excelled, is here if you annotate, right? So if I grab the pencil tool and if I do drawing, and here I can choose a color. You know, maybe you might not want to use red. You know, some students might have been traumatized from, I don't know, whatever your philosophy on grading is. You might want to use a blue color, or I don't know. And then here you change the thickness of the pencil, right? Let's say I do 2. And then you can, you know, you can start marking up students' work, you know. You can also add notes, right? If I want to add a note to the student. And this is something that Blackboard has gotten better through the years, but I feel this is still better than what we have currently in Blackboard. You know, for example, the student can now hover over the icon and they can see the notes. That we did not have that in Blackboard. We did have the note feature, but you know, the ease of having to hover over and the notes show. Here is, you know, a spot for the grade. That's similar to Blackboard. And here's the feedback if you want to add some feedback directly for the student. Right. Again, you can also record audio or video if you want to humanize that experience with your student. If you want to make it much more, you know, they can hear your voice and see your facial expressions, then you can, instead of writing, you can actually do that here. You can also attach files from uploading or just from Google Drive directly from that. So I just want to share that with you. I think this is a huge improvement to what we currently have in Blackboard. Any questions and comments about so far about grading in assignment in Brightspace? Okay, I hear a question. Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
Jose, can you show us how to record contemporaneously the video or the audio with the correction of the of whatever it is.
Sure, sure. Let's say if I wanted to add some feedback, right, to this paper. So I
Yes,
can,
thanks.
right, so if I want to do audio, I can just do an audio recording, right? I would click here. And then you can do a new recording. Now, Brightspace will caption the audio or video file for you if you record it using Brightspace. But if you do an upload file, meaning like an MP4 file, it won't caption the MP4 file. So that's something that that's one thing I don't like about that. So we're still working with them trying to figure out how we can figure that out. This is due to ADA compliant, right? Being ADA compliant, so that students with a disability are able to see the captions. But let's go ahead and do a recording. So I do new recording. Carter, you did a wonderful job on your paper. Make sure you check your grammar. Keep up the great work. I love what you did here. So keep on doing what you're doing is great. I just stopped recording. Carter, you did a wonderful job on your paper. Make sure you check your grammar. Keep up the great work. I like to put affirmations in there when grading, not just negative, because again, you want to motivate your students to do better. So that's why I kind of tried throwing probably too much there affirmation, but always being positive helps, right? You're always trying to get your students to do the best. I hear a question. Let me go back. Oh, perfect. Okay, Sarah.
Yeah. What I do
And
with
so,
those is I go look up potent writing or whatever the heck, and I'll go up and look at the thesaurus and find, and so I've got a whole list of them: cogent writing, potent writing, just strong, so that if they want to compare notes, at least it's something different too. I'm not using the same accolades.
that's an excellent point, Patricia. You're right, because after a while, I start using the same, the same words, and then you need a thesaurus sometimes to different, get it, just make it a little different for every student. This is also great for modern language courses. If you're teaching a modern language course, Italian, Spanish, or any other languages that are taught at FIT, Japanese, and those other languages, this is a great way to then record your audio or video and provide feedback to your students. The next step is then to click add, and this will get added to the feedback, right? And so here I would give it a title. I would just say something like, I don't know, feedback for, let's say, assignment number 1. And then a little description if you like. You can type something in there. Audio language, this will help the captioning, right? Automatically generate captions from audio. So unfortunately, it's not by default. You will, again, take this with a grain of salt, right? Because as we move over to our official instance at FIT, I and Jeffrey and the committee might have more of a say as to what becomes a default. As of right now, in this sandbox, this is not set to default, so you would have to make sure that you don't miss this little checkbox here, and then click add, so that this audio recording will Brightspace will automatically generate the captions for this audio. So then next step I would click is add. And the captions will take time. It's not going to happen automatically. Right in the moment. It takes time. It also depends on how long your recording is. The longer it is, the more time it will take for the captions to generate. So always think about that before releasing your grades and feedback. Make sure you give it some time for the system to process the captions, so that students will actually have those captions available to them, right? So real quick, I want to show you how to create an assignment in Brightspace. I'm just going to go ahead and publish this for now, and we'll just publish anyway.
Jose, can I show them a cute little thing? On
Sure. Okay. You want to show?
Yes,
please. Show your screen?
Yes, please. Okay. So this is on the share. So I was showing the course the last time, and yes, this is the other schools' tabs and where they created them, but depending on what we want to do. But there's something called class progress, and so it's a graphic, and so I don't want to show the students'
Mhm.
grades here, but it kind of gives you a sense right there of how they're doing graphically. Are you seeing it? I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah, we can
Yes.
see that.
Okay. So I think that's it's a nice little tool. It graphically shows you, well, okay, look, if there's a lot of hills and valleys, maybe to send a little email and say, would you like to make a virtual office visit so I can explain things a little more thoroughly or whatever the heck, whatever. Yes?
Sure. No, that's one thing that where Brightspace shines is that it's very visual and also tracking your students. Like Patricia just showed, you can also go to the whole, see the class in the nutshell, see where everyone's doing, as well as like I showed, where you can see. Wait, I'm not sharing my screen, am I? No. Let me share my screen. Sorry. Like I showed, where you can actually go directly to the assignment itself, and then see from just that assignment who has done the work and who has not done the work. There's a question.
Yes. I was looking the page before with all the image of the student. Is this doing Brightspace by itself, alone? I mean, it's automated, or we have to set it down?
No, that's automatic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a great feature, and again, these are just some of the things that we were lacking with Blackboard, right? Retention, right? Who are the students who are struggling? Who are those stragglers? And then creating alerts, right, to let you know where your students are at a particular period during the semester, right? So that will definitely is a big help. Thank you, Patricia, for sharing that.
You're
Um,
welcome.
real quick, I'm gonna show you all real quick how to create an assignment. It's very straightforward, very similar to Blackboard. Um, and so let me just real quickly show you how to do that. Um, so obviously, just like in Blackboard, you have to know where do you want the assignment to live in, right? Do you want that assignment to go into week 1, week 2, or a particular folder?
Excuse me,
And
Professor,
yes, yes, Ben, go
did you
ahead.
start, where did you begin? In the mini bar? Where was your first click?
Oh, so I came back, right? So I came back. You can either go back home and start from the top stand if you like, and then you can choose the course. Um, and this navigation also will change. We will create a shortcut so you can skip directly to the actual course instead of having to come home and then here select the course.
Coming home is
Uh,
a great advantage because you see all your courses, you see them visually. That's fine. Thank you.
True.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Um, and last week we mentioned something, and this is something that I really when I found out about this and that Brightspace does, it blew me away because when I would sit with faculty and do one-on-one trainings, there were some faculty who preferred to group all their assignments into buckets, all the discussions into buckets, or all the quizzes into a bucket. And then the student will go into the assignment bucket and they would find their work there. But then I also had other faculty, and this is what I usually recommend, is to create, let's say, a learning sequence for week 1, and then in that learning sequence, then you have several items that you have to complete, right, in sequential order. But with Brightspace, the great thing about Brightspace is, and this we mentioned last week, is that if you design your course in a sequential fashion, right? Let's say I do an icebreaker, then I do a quiz, and a reading assignment, then discussion in that sequential order. Brightspace automatically takes the items that you created for that week and puts them into those buckets for you, right? That is amazing, right? With Blackboard, we either had to choose one way or the other. But with Brightspace, and that's one thing I really love, is that it will do that for you. If you have any questions about that, we can do that. You can ask me after 2 o'clock. But let me just build an assignment real quick. So right now I'm in week 1, and the way I can tell is because here at the top you have in the title is week 1. So always keep in mind and know where you are. This works the same way in Blackboard was the same. It would tell you at the top, here, this is where you are. You're in week 1, right? And so then you can build inside week 1 by clicking on upload or create. And then here, if you scroll down, you'll see several options, but the one we're looking for is new assignment, right? So we click on new assignment. And this is now then where we can begin building that assignment, right? We can give it a name. We can say, let's call this homework number 1. You can decide, do you want to grade this? Is this a gradable item? Is it not gradable? And that's a little bit, we touched on that with Sarah's, I think it was Sarah's question on, is it a formative assessment? Do we grade it? Is it not gradable? So this is where you decide whether to grade the assignment. For now, I'm going to make this a gradable item. Is it going into the gradebook, right? Right? Do you want to, is this something that you want to attach to the gradebook? We're not going to touch too much on the gradebook because we have little time left, 15 minutes. But if we say this is an item that's already in the gradebook, right, it's going to, once you submit a grade for the student, it will automatically show in the gradebook. Then we have, when is this due, right? Is there a due date? Right, so similar to Blackboard, right? You get the calendar, you get to decide what is the due date. Let's say I choose Friday the 15th. And then you get to choose, end of the day or whatever time. This is also the same as Blackboard. This is now where we talked about the instructions. Now, if you're a face-to-face professor, then, you might not need to put too much instruction because you might cover it in the classroom. But this is where you would do that. You can put a link, you can add a video, you can add an image, you can click on the plus sign, and then there's a lot of more cool things like emojis. I know, Patricia, you'll like the emoji there. Yeah. There's a lot to do in the WYSIWYG. You can then also attach a document to the assignment. Like the example I gave you earlier, where there was a Word document, the students have to download the Word document. This could be done through a file upload. You can pull it from an existing activity. You can use Google Drive. And again, we talked about humanizing the assignment. You can record your voice if you prefer. Now, this is the fun stuff over here on the right-hand side.
Jose, before you continue, please, where is the icon for uploading PDFs to that assignment?
Oh, yes, Stan. So you would do it through here, Stan. You would do a file upload. And let me go to my computer. Then you do upload. And then let's say I want to put in the same document that I did before, right? It was a template for the students to download and work off the template.
I got it. Right.
Or you could do a PDF, Stan, right? I could do the PDF and click open. And then there it is. It's showing me the file. Then I click add. And then you'll see it here, Stan. That's a great question, Stan. Thank you for that, because yes, it's better to see it, right? So here you would see the attachment to the assignment.
And also, Jose, it's the same as Blackboard, but if you wanted to upload another kind of, the emoticons, and I have it in my pictures, and so that also could be uploadable in that regard. So you're not relegated to just the emoticons that they have here.
Right, that's a good point. Right, so anything else that you don't see here and you want to upload something of your own, you can go here to the image icon, insert an image. Let's see if I have an image from my computer that I can drop in there. Let's say I want to add an image. I hope I have nothing embarrassing here. Oh, here's a fabric that we used last week, fabric picture, right? So maybe I want to have them look at this picture of a fabric. And here it's, since, alternative text, again, for ADA compliance, I can put here a photo of a fabric. So if a student had a vision impairment and they're using a screen reader, then the screen reader will read, this is a photo of a fabric, right? And so I would just, there's the picture, right? So now, by the way, you can grab the little corner here if you're running out of space, and you can extend so you have more space to play with. So here's the fun stuff on the right-hand side. Right here, you got the when is it available? When do you want to start making this available? So it's programmed to release a certain date. This is the same thing in Blackboard. It hasn't changed. When does it go away? If you just want to leave it open, available to student, you don't have to put dates in there, and it just becomes available. This is really cool. We didn't have this in Blackboard. Actually, we kind of did. You can actually have special access. If you want this assignment to only be available to certain students, if let's say you're grouping your students into groups, group 1 might have this assignment, group 2 might have a separate assignment, and this is where you can control that. You actually did have that in Blackboard. Sorry, I misspoke. Okay, submission and completion. This is where you get a lot of power here, and I think Sarah or someone else had that question. You can control whether it's an individual or a group assignment here. You can put this in a category. For those of you in Blackboard who use the gradebook, you're familiar with categories. If not, don't worry about it. This is a little bit more advanced. For a future workshop, we can talk about the gradebook and how to create categories. But this is where somebody asked a question earlier. Can I control submission of the file, right? This we did not have in Blackboard before. If you had, let's say, a face-to-face class and you're observing them in the classroom, you can actually put here observed in person, which we did not have that before in Blackboard. This is really nice, a neat feature that you can, if you're going to, assess the student in the classroom, and you can actually do that and enter the grade based on what you saw in the classroom observation. You can control it, whether it's a file, a text, or a paper submission. So this is really powerful. We did not have that before. Ooh, that's my warning. I got 10 minutes. Okay, let's speed up. Here you can control whether it's one file or more than one file per submission, right? So that you can control that there. This is where I was referring to, whether you want to restrict the student to submitting only a PDF or a Word document or a PowerPoint slide. We did not have this before in Blackboard. This is also very powerful. I remember faculty asking me, how can I prevent students from sending me all these weird file types? Now you can control that, right? You can say, well, send me only WordX, right? Word doc or docx, right? So this will only allow students to submit a docx file, right? So if you do that, if it's a custom file type, that gives you much more control to what students submit, right? So you don't want them sending you an executable file. Who knows, it has malware or a virus, right?
Wow, yeah.
Right? You don't want students sending you like executable file or a DMG file that might have some weird, malware, and then you download these files, and then who knows what goes on your computer now. Okay, anyway, let's keep moving. I think there was a question, but let me just move a little quick because I got 9 minutes. Here, if you want to get notified when students submit their work, you can actually enter an email address so that you get notified. If you don't want to use a FIT email address. Now, this might change when we move over to the official, right? So here is my favorite place is to add a rubric. If you're into that, this is where you would do the rubric, right? You can add the rubric. And this is another cool feature that Brightspace has, which we're not going to talk about. Brightspace has a learning objectives that helps you link your course learning objectives to the assignments. But that's something else. We won't talk too much about that now. So once you're done with all the settings, you can just simply, oh, and by the way, Stan, this is where you would do, this Stan brought it up last time, which is a great question, was controlling the visibility of the assignment. Very important, because if you keep it hidden and you think it's open and you don't go as a student to check, and the students are asking you, Professor, we don't see the assignment, and you forget to make it visible, it's because you didn't make it visible, right? It's an easy thing to it's an easily and you can easily miss this because it's a little button here at the bottom. So make sure you make it visible by clicking on the little eye is on, not the strike through the eye. That means that it's hidden. But if it doesn't have the strike through, it's visible. Okay. Any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, Jose. This is
Any questions?
this is
Yeah,
vir-
Jose.
this is
Any
virtual.
questions? This is Jose. This is Jose. I think you're in twice, Bert. So hold on. Let me kick you out of one place. You logged in twice. Okay, Bert, you can ask now.
Okay. Can we schedule a future email? In Blackboard, we cannot. You can set an assignment in the future, but you cannot set the email when the assignment is due.
Oh, wow, that's a good point, Bert. Yes, I remember that feature in Blackboard. I don't see that in Brightspace, but again, it's still too early. I remember in Blackboard there was a little feature that you can check off and email the student when the assignment becomes available.
Yes, I never seen that. I tried so many times.
It is in Blackboard, but I haven't yet seen it in Brightspace. That's an excellent observation, Bert. I'll keep an eye out for it. I haven't seen it yet, but I know what you're talking about. Blackboard has that feature where once let's say I say the assignment opens on the Saturday of the 16th. Once this date is selected, the student receives an email, right? I don't see that here. I'll keep looking for that. I'm not sure if we have that in Brightspace.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for that, Bert. That's a great observation. I missed that one.
Mm.
I was trying to compare what we have in Brightspace and what don't we have, and compare Brightspace to Blackboard, what we have and what we don't have. So once you click Save and Close, oh, let me just remove. I don't want to add a date to this. Right. So let me just remove any. Okay, there we go. And then we do Save and Close. Then that automatically makes this assignment available to the student. Now, I ran out of time. I really wanted to cover discussions, but I don't think I'm going to do that in 5 minutes. But any questions so far about assignments in Brightspace? There are many differences and similarities between Brightspace and Blackboard. As we went through today, you all can see that it is very similar, right? In how you can create an assignment, make it visible at a certain date, close, add a rubric to it, grading it, the markup tools. I hear a question. Yes, Dan?
Jose, when you went to the assignment, it said week 1. I'm listing everything as project 1, project 2. Can you change that initial caption to project from week 1?
Yes. So in this case, week 1 is a folder right here. So you can simply, just like in Blackboard, when you go to the title of a folder, and right next to it you have the down arrow, and then there you would just click Edit Title, and then I can title this Project 1.
Of course. Seems obvious. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Patricia, I don't know if for the next 4 or 5 minutes you want to show them how your course looks like, built out in Brightspace. A real quick look at an actual course that ran on Brightspace. You want to go ahead and Patricia, you want to do that real quick? Or?
If you want me to, sure. But what is it that you just want me to show the course? Okay.
Well, just to show how you have it laid out, and also show them the visual table of contents. We have 4 minutes. Maybe we can show from your perspective as a teacher.
Okay. So you're showing. This is what you wanted me to show them.
Yes, and how you have them chunked, right, into little
Okay.
sections.
All right. Yeah, so we did that the last time for anybody who wasn't here. Okay, so you have this, you can have a visual table of contents. I think Stan asked about if you don't want to make it so visual or whatever the heck, you can collapse these widgets and then have it even more similar to what we know of in Blackboard, but Blackboard has this too. That's in this particular course, I have chunked each one of those. And as you were saying, is that I've grouped certain things rather than grouping them under one project. So because in this class is public speaking, and they had a speech, they have 3 graded speeches that are really going to follow the same yellow brick road. So therefore, it made more sense for me to have all of the content, the criteria sheets underneath here. And there go my emoticons again. So that it takes them through possible topics, and so it takes them through the steps within each of the assignments. And this one is just possibilities for their information speech and or their upcoming persuasion speech to give them ideas, other ideas, or if they want to take those, that's fine too. Other than that, going back again, I like to go back all the way to home and then see where I'm at and what I want to do. I think we discussed the syllabus and how I have a rules of the game, and I made that sort of as an assignment that they had to at least have read it and acknowledge it, and acknowledge that they are going to follow the rules. I like to separate the syllabus and the dated assignment schedule. So in here, it's one that, and we at FIT have 2 different styles, and we've got the boxed calendar. Now, not for this course, but for my totally online course, I also put everything into those kinds of boxes. And I did that for me, oh my God, several decades back when I started that course. And I found it to be very useful. So I give them the 2 styles, the more protracted one that has the meat of the overall of each assignment. But in the calendar, in the boxed calendar one, that at a glance you can see the whole semester. And so I think that's really, to me, it's pretty valuable. And I don't think I have it here because it's in another school. But for us, you have those 2 different styles of putting together your schedule. How much more? We're at 2 o'clock. Okay, I guess that's it. Okay, all right.
If anyone has any question for Patricia or for myself, we will stay a little bit here after in case anybody wants to talk more, or I want to be respectful of your time if you have to run off to another, to another class. But I really wanted to show the discussion, but we ran out of time. We might do it again on Friday. Hopefully Patricia can show us how. Oh no, wait, sorry. Patricia can show us the quiz feature. Maybe we can do that next time. And the discussion tool, how we can use discussions in the classroom with Brightspace.
Jose, it's Stan. Can you do a quick demo as per I will be doing, starting from home and creating assignment folders, starting from the home, please.
Sure. Let me real quick.
Great.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let me go back here. And
I'll
share
be
my screen.
creating, I'm sorry, sir. I'll be creating 10 assignments. They will live in perpetuity. They'll always be up. And the assignment will contain a dialogue and PDFs. That's it. Dialogue at the initial instance of the project, and PDFs will be put in that same project folder.
Right. So Stan, so let me start from the top, right? So if I go home, and let's build on the empty course show. That's okay. We can build from there.
That's fine. When I go home, I will see a visual of my courses. Is that right?
Yes. What I'm doing now, only I will see. You won't see what I'm doing here, but you can recreate when you get, when you're at home and working on your sandbox. You can actually, go into this once you've registered to the sandbox with your FIT email, and then you can go in and start building this folder with all the assignments in there.
Go ahead,
So
continue.
Sure, sure. I just want to, so then from here we went into the empty course shell, and I'm going to go into the content area because that's where the my folders currently are living. Right, we have one folder called Project One, but let's do one folder where all the assignments are in there. I think that's what you're looking for, Stan. Right? We want to create a one section or one folder that just will have assignments. Right? Is that what you?
We'll start with one folder that is titled Assignments, and then within that folder are 10 folders.
Okay, got you.
Projects.
I got you. Perfect. So on the bottom left, Stan, right here, we have add a module. And this is what is a little different than what we're used to in Blackboard. You know, we're used to going to here, upload or create content and find a folder, right? You know, you have to go in here and select folder. But in this case, we have to go here and add a module. And this is going to be the top level folder. Yeah, I'm in a call, sorry. So here is the top level folder, right? And so here I'm going to call this assignments, right? So we created the top level folder. Now we want a second level folder, right? So now under this assignment folder, we're going to create, let's say, 10 folders for each assignment. So that's what add a sub module is. Right, this will create that subcategory, the subfolder. So if I click add a subfolder, now I'm going 2 levels deep in there now, right? So I'm going to call this, let's say, assignment number 1. And I click, once I typed in the title, then you just type, if you're on a Mac, it's return. On the PC, you would hit the enter key, right? And so now you get an indentation of the subfolder. That tells you that assignment number 1 is in the assignment folder, right?
So at the top where it says Assignments, you would change that to Project 1 or Assignment 1?
Yes. So let's say so let's say you want to change assignment 1 to Project 1. I would click on assignment number 1. Now you see it there. And then you would click on those little down arrow, click edit title, and I can then edit. If I change my mind, I want to call this project number 1, right? In Blackboard, it was a little different. When you were inside a subfolder, it would give you the breadcrumbs. I don't see the breadcrumbs here in Brightspace, but again, this is still too early. Again, you know, this is a temporary sandbox that things might change. That's one thing I'm noticing different from Blackboard to Brightspace is that in Blackboard, we would have had a breadcrumb letting you know that, hey, you're in assignments, but inside the assignments, you're inside Project 1 folder. But in Brightspace, you kind of see it here. This indentation is letting you know that Project 1 is inside assignment.
Okay, so I see where we can drag and drop PDFs. And where is the dialog box within this folder, Project 1 folder?
Perfect. Yes, great question, Stan. So then once you're inside Project 1 and you want to add that PDF, then you have to go to the blue this blue button here to then add the material for Project 1, right? So for Project 1, let's say Project 1 is an assignment that you want them to submit. I wouldn't upload the PDF, Stan. I like to keep the PDF and the assignment together. And this is a practice that we follow in Blackboard. So what I would do here, Stan, is I would click on this blue button, upload and create, choose a new assignment, and then title the assignment project number 1. You know, keeping the same name that we as a folder, or maybe I might say project 1 assignment. I don't know. And this is where then, Stan, I would upload the PDF, right? Because I want to keep the assignment Dropbox together with the PDF, right? So the PDF would then, I can upload the PDF from here, right? File, upload. I go to my computer, if I don't have it yet uploaded in Brightspace, if the document is in my computer, I go to my computer, upload, and let's add this PDF right here. Right, and I click, now you can see the title of the file, then we click add. And so now I have the assignment Dropbox as well as the PDF together in one place. And
It
then again,
circuitous. Seems a bit circuitous. In Blackboard, we would create a folder and we would put in dialogue and save the folder. Then we would click on the actual folder, see the dialogue, and then upload.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so you're talking about the verb, like the verbiage, right? Add something here, right? So you can say project. I forgot to put that in there. Yes, that's a good point.
That's
so let
okay, but I think we're maybe 2 levels too deep because we have.
So
Go ahead.
So let me bounce out. Let me go up one level back. So let me just save and close. I think what you're referring to, Stan, is have some instructions at the folder level, right? Is that what you're?
Yes, we're in a folder that's called Project 1, and there are instructions and PDFs
Right.
in a single folder. If we could do that without going into a second level.
Okay. So let's keep it all under the same level. So this is a perfect opportunity to show you how to then drag and drop a folder that's inside another folder and just pull it out to the top. So I'm gonna just drag. You saw how I took out project 1 outside the assignments. So now let's say I don't need the assignments. So everything is going into this project 1 folder. So this is where you can put your instructions, Stan. This is the dialogue that you're referring to, right?
Yes.
So you can, right. So here is that little dialog box that you're referring to as in Blackboard, right? So here you would say, okay, so here is the project 1, and then here are a bullet or a number list of things that I want you. Oops, I don't want it like that. I want it like this. Here are some things that I want you to do. Okay, you're going to read chapter 10. You're going to write 500-word essay. And you're going to include a bibliography, right? Something like this. This is where this is what you're referring to, Stan, right?
Yeah, that's it. Now let's upload some PDFs into that same project folder. Can we do that?
Yes. So then so then I will do update. So now to upload the PDF to this folder, then you would so I'm inside the assignment folder. You notice I'm still in there. I'm sorry, I'm still in the project 1 folder. Then you would just click upload files, and now locate that PDF.
Perfect. Thank you. Perfect.
So that's how you. And sorry, Stan, I went the long way, but yeah. So now you're seeing, and again, you can reorder the sequence by clicking on those little dots to the left of the title, and then drag. Let's say I want to make this first. Let's say I want to make the PDF first, or I want to have the assignment first, right? So you can still move things around very easily.
Can you put the PDF back where it was inside the assignment before you move the hierarchy? And then let's look at the student view.
Oh, okay. You want me to move the PDF into the assignment?
Do we have to move it into the assignment? My assumption was that the dialogue and assignment were in a single folder.
Yes, this is all one single folder. The assignment is right here, and the PDF is separate. Normally,
Go ahead.
Normally I keep them together. I like to keep these two together in the assignment. So if I go in here, I usually have the PDF for the student to view it right here.
Great. Let's go to the student view for this.
Perfect. Let's do it. So view as a student. Okay, here we are. We're in as a student. And so here is the folder span, right? We called it project number 1. And so we can just click on it. And once we click on the folder, now we have that sequence, right? Here is the project 1 assignment, and then some PDF added to the bottom. But if I go directly to the assignment, you can also see the PDF there from right here.
Terrific. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stan. Yeah, that's going to be something very common, right? Creating a folder, adding an assignment, and dropping in a PDF. That's going to be probably the most used feature, is to create an assignment and attach a document to it.
Did Brightspace add that word materials?
Oh yes, look at that, right? It did. So it's adding that again, and this is something that we might be able to control, and it's, that might be something that we might change, or might be able to change that, that word.
Not important, but for the student to download the PDFs, that's a simple task for the student to download it. We're in the student mode. Click the
Yes.
arrow of the PDF.
Sure. Let's go ahead. Now, this works similar to Blackboard, Stan, where, remember, in Blackboard, if you had a PDF, the PDF will open natively for the student. But if you had a Word document, the student would have to download, as we did for this one. Remember when I was testing the one I showed you all, it downloaded the Word document to my computer, and then I had to open it manually to then be able to work on it. But let me show you how a PDF will open for a student. So this is how the student would see the PDF, right? They can zoom in, zoom out, they can download or print the PDF. They can change the way they view the document as a 2-page, or as a presenter. So it is similar to Blackboard. This doesn't change much.
Before you exit, you on a PC?
I'm on a Mac.
You're on a Mac. Can you go pinky down on the control key and see if the download feature comes up? Pinky down on the control key, or right click.
Uh-huh.
Save as. There it is. And
Yeah,
there it is. Right. Thank you.
Right. So that works. That works the same as also clicking the download. One feature, Stan, that that's different in Blackboard is this little bookmark. I like this a lot for students. You don't see this from the teacher perspective, but from a student, you're able to add bookmarks so that you can jump to a particular place in your course, right? So if I want to bookmark this PDF, I can easily find it as a student right here. Right, it's bookmark added successfully. So that, if there's something that if I have a professor who, is not well organized, I'm trying to find the syllabus and I want to bookmark it, so I can find it easier. You can always, as a student, they can bookmark that. So that's something that's nice from the student's perspective.
Thanks so much, Jose. Just great. Will you be offering trainings again next semester and possibly in the spring of 23?
That's is Tammy? I think it's Tammy here. That might be a Tammy question. I'm not sure how the training will. Oh no, she left. Yeah, but that's something that I had to run it by Tammy and see what are the plans for the training. Am I going to do it, or someone else, or who's doing it? I've been given the thumbs up for these 2 weeks, but again, it might change. We don't know.
Thank you so much. Just great.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Sure, Stan. Thank you for the questions. These are really great questions. Unfortunately, I wanted to cover discussion, but maybe I have to wait till the next one and then cover discussions and the quizzes. Honestly, the discussion and the quizzes are very much the same as in Blackboard. You know, the same thing. You know, you create a thread. I'm sorry, you create a forum, and within that forum, you can have several threads. So very similar. Everything is very similar to Blackboard. I think the only difference is that Brightspace will throw in a little new feature like, oh, let's throw in the bookmark, or uh, for me the biggest change has been just the visual, the just the way it looks, just that to me has been the biggest change from Blackboard to Brightspace. I had to get used to this whole new look, right? Of I don't see folders anymore, right? I don't, but these are actual fold. I mean, this could be, you can think of them as folders, just like Stan was saying, you know, but you don't see the little icon of a folder like you did in Blackboard. So it takes time getting used to it. And like I said, it took me a while to get used to switching between an instructor and a student. I kept finding myself scratching my head as to why can't I create something new? And then I realized I was in as a student, and that will take time as you the more and more you play with Brightspace, you'll get used to that, knowing where you are. Um, but I mean, so far I like it. I love the fact that you can drag and drop things anywhere. Like, for example, let me go back as a teacher, and I'll stop there unless there are any more questions. But the ability.
Hi, Jose. How are you? That's Birch again.
Hey, Bert, you have a question?
Right. Do we have a sandbox for Brightspace so we could play around with it?
Yes. So this is actually the sandbox that I'm in right now, Bert. Let me give you the link, the direct link to the
So
the
it wouldn't
sandbox.
come up on my Blackboard homepage, the sandbox?
No. It's not going to show up on your Blackboard homepage. Here isn't the link, isn't the slides that I provided. And let me just copy the link so I can give that to you. You are going to have to register with your FIT email address. So let me put that in the chat for you, right?
And that's what I'm still having problems with.
Oh yes, Patricia. Yeah, we'll do that now. Actually, let me. So Bert, if you click on this link, it will take you to then. Well, I'm logged in already, but you would have to. Let me just log myself out.
So you're gonna send that link for me, right?
Actually, let me. Yeah, I can email it to you too.
It's in the chat.
I'll send it to you right now. Brightspace. There you go. So I just emailed it to you, Bert. So you have that. But you have to make sure that you have to register. Let me see. It won't let me. I won't be able to show you how to register because I'm already logged in. If I log out. Oh, here we go. Here we go. See here, haven't registered yet.
Okay.
And so you have to click on this link, and maybe Patricia, we can try it now with you and make sure that you get registered. And then Bert, you can try it too. Maybe we can do it together if you have time. You want to try it now?
Oh, but I am looking at you, so
Oh,
on
okay.
my laptop.
Well, no worries, no worries. But you have to click here, Bert, and then once you click on that link, it's going to take you to this new page, and then you have to type in your FIT email address, and then you put your first name, and then you put your last name. And once you've done that, then you click continue for instant access. And once you've done that, then you log in here, and you type in your FIT email address and your password, and you click log in, and that will take you then here. And then Bert, you're gonna see these two courses.
Right.
Sample course, and this is the one that has sample data that for you to look at. And then you're gonna have an empty one for you to create your own course.
Okay.
So that these two courses will be available to you.
So I could look at the sample one and then develop my own.
Course, yes. The other thing you can do, and we didn't cover it today because we ran out of time, is you make sure if you have a course already in Blackboard, and if you want to import your course from Blackboard into Brightspace, you can also do that. But I can meet with you one-on-one and show you how to do that. If you, for example, you want to bring in your macro course to Brightspace,
Uh-huh.
you would have to archive your macro course in Blackboard, and then you download the macro course. You know, you can download it from Blackboard to your computer.
From the archive.
From the archives, exactly.
Mhm.
And then you will come here, and over here, where is it? Let me show you where. Well, we can do it together, but here, you can then import. It's a little bit more advanced, but we're going to cover this in a future workshop. Is the icon, the gear icon next to your name? That's the import.
Mhm.
And that's where you would then, look at that, you see? Import course from an external learning tool.
Right.
And then the whole process, it will import. So that's why in the first workshop, we were recommending to faculty to make sure you archive all your courses, even though Brightspace is going to do the transfer for us, or the migration will be done by Brightspace. I highly recommend that you archive your courses before we stop using Blackboard, so that in case something goes wrong with the migration, you still have a copy of your course saved to your thumb drive or to your Google Drive, because you never know, all that work you put into your course can be gone in a second. You know, something might go wrong, or something doesn't migrate over correctly from Blackboard to Brightspace. At least you now have the archive of the course on your thumb drive, so that you can always refer to it.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Sure, Bert. Anytime, my pleasure. If you need help importing the course, your Blackboard course, into Brightspace, let me know, and I can show you how to do that later.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Jose,
Sure,
it's
Bert.
Stan. It's Stan. Can I go ahead and get my sandbox? Can I register now? Do you have the moment?
Sure. You want to do it together? Because I know Patricia also. I think Patricia also wants to do so. If you want to go first, Dan, you want to share your screen and we can do it together?
Sure.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Hold on, please.
I'll stop sharing.
It's kind of forcing me to create a new password. Is what's happening. So
Before I
all right. So
who's going first? Are you going first, Patricia?
you are, dear. You are, dear. You are.
Before I show you my screen, should I log on? Should I click your URL that you sent us? May I do that?
Sure. Yeah. You can either click on it first and then share the screen, and then we'll walk through it together. And then Patricia, then we'll troubleshoot together. My guess, Patricia, for you, I think we have to do a forget password, so that we can then do a reset the password. I think that's probably what we might have to do together.
That's what it's saying. It says forgot your password. We can help. So I'm going to have to create a new password. I guess
Right.
sooner or later, I mean, how long do these passwords last?
Are you seeing my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Then I didn't do it correctly. Hold on. I'm going
No,
to
I
share.
saw it. Yeah, I see it here. It's empty. No, but
Share application screen. Okay, here I've got the share
Well,
icon.
that's okay.
Should I stop recording this? Yeah, let me stop recording.
Because then other people might have the same problem.
Okay. Okay. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling then.
You're the expert.
Are you seeing my screen? I suspect you're not. Share application screen, entire screen.
You can do entire screen, Stan, and then click on the little picture of the desktop right below that, and then the blue.
And click on the square below share system audio.
I did that, of course.
Sorry.
that goes back to online when we were online. I'll do it again. Share entire screen, click it. This is old news, and share.
I am seeing Stan. Number
I'm
2.
not getting the.
But it's
I'm not
just a
getting-
blank. Your head is dark.
All right, well, I'm going to go back to the login, and I'm going to log in.
I can visualize it, yeah. If you can tell us, Dan, verbally, and then we can visualize it where you
Okay.
are.
All right, I'm logging in my username,
Mm-hmm.
tab, password.
Oh, Stan, I think it's your email address, right? So you have to be careful. It has to be your.
Here's my email address. But here's a question before I log in.
Mhm.
When we change, this is if it's like Blackboard, as we are asked to change our password every 6 months,
Mhm.
Brightspace will pick up the new password.
Well, so with this sandbox, this is not connected to anything at FIT, so you don't have to worry about. Right. So this will not ask you to change along with your FIT. So this is not connected.
My current password that I'm using now, even if I change my FIT password, I have to use this password that I'm using now. Is that right?
Correct, Stan. Yes.
Hold on, I'm just writing it down. Not that I don't know it.
No, you're right. It's a good point because my brain would probably stick to the new FIT password and forget.
Yeah, and then we get denied. All right, so this is the one. I'm logging in. I'm going ahead. I'm logging in, and it is scrolling. SUNY Play. Now the URL says invalid username password. You'll be taken back to the
Oh,
log.
thank you.
Login.
Misery loves company.
Hold on. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's correct. No caps are on. And it is invalid username and password. So it's not accepting it.
And
Go ahead.
no, well, no, I can't. I'm sorry, Stan. No, I can't see your screen, but my guess is, I'm assuming, right? You entered, you followed your FIT email address correctly, and then under that you typed in.
Let me try just my username.
Let me see if I can follow you real quick, and then
I don't know why
try
you
it.
can't see the screen. No, the invalid username. Now, am I getting locked out after 3 tries? Hope not.
Right, where it says campus email, right?
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
not.
It's not taking it?
Nope, nope, doesn't take it.
Huh.
The
And
URL
then,
is. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Stan. What was that?
I'm at the right URL. It's D2L Brightspace. It's SUNY Play Brightspace demo.com.
Yes.
At the
Yes.
right. It's just not taking
Yes.
it.
So in other words, what Stan said was very smart. So this is a separate password from. Are we creating a separate password
Yeah,
than the one that we use on? So this is a totally okay. So I'm just going to put in another password. What the heck?
Stan, let me ask you real quick, Stan. I'm sorry. Did you click on the link at the top that said register at? Did you click on that? That's where you have. Yeah.
I'm clicking on your link to get there.
And then you have to click on where it says haven't registered yet, register at, and there's a blue link. That's what you have to click on to then be able to register.
Thank you for that. You know, there's an old saying which I just made up. I have no grasp of the obvious.
Yes, you do.
Tracy, you probably made the same error. All right, let's try it again. So I'm in the Experience Brightspace for Yourself pane. Campus email. Turns red. Letting me get in. First name. Now, my first name is not my email first name, and I'm using cap lowercase because it may telegraph through the site. Let's see if it takes it. Continue for instant access. Password. Now it's asking me for a password. This will be a proprietary password for D2L, is that correct?
Correct.
But
Write
even
that.
if you have the same password as for the Gmail, what does it matter? It just you're just putting in this specific password for Brightspace, correct?
Sure. It could be the same password you use for your FIT, but the point I'm making is that this password is not in any way connected to the FIT password, where they ask you to
'Cause-
give it a new password every 6 months or so. So
Got
it's
Got
independent.
Stan, are you getting the same thing for forget your password? We can help.
No,
And it says
I'm
enter your username below.
I'm going in and typing in a password that is a proprietary password for D2L, regardless of whether or not it is my FIT email, doesn't matter.
No.
Okay.
As if I understand correct, my FIT email will change, but this password will not. It's
Correct.
current for the next few months. All right, may I just have a bit of silence, please?
I'm sorry.
And I'm going to confirm it. One moment, please. Create my I confirm that I have read and say yes, I accept your silly policies. Okay, create my sandbox. It is scrolling. I've got 2% so far. It's up to 8%. So if it is scrolling in green, I guess I'm in. So what I should do is create a bookmark in my eyebrow. Is that right? As we have for Blackboard, Gmail.
It's a great idea, Stan. Right, create like a bookmark so you can easily.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. And in the upper right, it does say Stan Henry, and it's got an SH. Where I am now is SUNYplay.brightspacedemo.com. That is the URL. If I lose my bookmark, that is the URL. That
Correct.
is the. All right, so I'm just going to jot that down.
Sure.
It's lengthy.
You can also,
Go ahead.
yeah, you can also.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, Stan, you can do exactly what you just said, which is a great. I should have mentioned this earlier. Is to once you've registered and logged in, is just like what you said, Stan. Create a shortcut on the browser, right? And so that you can easily click on it and takes you directly to the login page.
Okay, Command D and.
Yep.
Yep, I've got it. All right, so I've got the. I need a dope slap. I've got it, so I'm in. I'm going to close it.
Beautiful. You're in.
I'm going to open a new window, and I'm going to go to my bookmarks. Oh, please. New tab. I'm in a new tab. I'm sorry, it's the wrong one. And I'm going to my home page and see if it'll ask me for a login. It doesn't ask me to log in. It just takes me directly to sample course with data and empty course shell.
Yes, that's what I've experienced too. It just takes me, once you click on, and just takes you directly into the home page, and you don't have to log in, which I like. But again, that's what I've experienced so far, Stan. Same as you. It just takes me right in.
Okay, so which one is my test? The empty course shell or the sample course with data? I guess the empty course shell is the one where I do all my testing.
Correct. The empty course shell, that's for you to play with and experiment. The other one, the second course that says example course with data, something like that.
Right.
That's the one that has a pre-built for you, and it serves as an example of a course and how it would look like in Brightspace. So maybe, helps you visualize something if, to mimic what's in there if you try to,
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Patricia, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Patricia, we're matching today. I meant to say that way early, but then, with time running out, I've been like trying to steamroll through this whole thing. I think we're matching today. Look at this. We got red going.
Definitely. The walls of my living room are red, Chinese red. Okay, so I'm going to okay, I'm going to show you what I have so far.
Sure, sure. Are you able to share your screen, Patricia?
Yes,
I know that.
I'm in the process. Okay,
Oh,
let me go back to this and start from scratch. I'm
glad we caught that that one little thing can make a big difference, right? A little link, and then sometimes it's just. There we go. Beautiful.
Okay, so this is the startup already again, and so if you haven't registered, you go here, and then the campus email pops in, and so and it automatically generates my first and last name. So continue, and then I can create a password, is
Right.
what you're saying, and so then I'm going to create another new one.
Okay. Oh no! Wait. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, Patricia. Sorry.
That's okay. So I confirm that I've read whatever this thing is, and I create my sandbox. And that's where it stops, because Stan was just saying it went from 2% and then whatever. It goes automatically to forgot your password, we can help. Enter your username below and we will find you a password. What?
Okay, I see what you mean. Yes. Okay, so let's
So
try now.
my username is my first and last name with an underscore in between, right? Right?
Yes.
And submit. A password reset email sent. Okay, so that's sent to my.
It should be in the FIT.
Job posting, nope. So
Brightspace is higher.
no, so it didn't go to my Gmail, even though I'm pressing refresh.
Okay, let's give it a minute or so, and if it doesn't come in, I'm gonna ask Jake. Jake is my buddy, my contact at Brightspace. Let me get him on while you're waiting for that email to come through. Let me reach out to Jake. Where's Jake? Oh gosh, where's Jake?
Be patient, Patricia. Sometimes it takes time.
Yeah, but you got some reward for it.
It did happen to me, Patricia. If it makes you feel any better, it did. I had to ask Jake to reset mine at the beginning. I remember.
Okay, I've just looked again, and there's nothing on the Gmail, and it still goes back to login failed. Try again.
Okay. Oh, here he is.
But that's login. So I tried the login after doing this, thinking maybe it went through, but it. So I'm back to here again. Are you seeing that, Jose?
Yes, it took you back. I wonder, Patricia, if you don't mind, if you can go back to that first screen, and at the bottom, if you can click for me, forget your password one more time from there, and then we try that. We can try that one more time.
Okay. And all I'm doing is this, right?
Right. Just the username.
Yes. And now submit. We received your request. You should receive the email. If you do not receive the email, this could be because you misspelled your name, your account's external email is not set or is incorrect. The request is too soon after your last request. The email was delayed. Huh.
Oh, check your spam folder, of course.
Oh,
okay.
That's right.
All right, where's my spam folder here?
It's You have to scroll down a little bit. Login. Let's see. There, spam.
Nope.
No, not there. I just messaged Jake. Let's see what he says.
Okay.
He's a top level guy, so but I guess I mean let's see how quick. Let me put your name in there.
Okay. I'll go back to the login page.
Okay. Okay, so
I'm just going to go turn the heat back on.
sure, no worry, Patricia. Bert, do you need help, Bert, while we wait for Patricia with registering to the sandbox? Oh, Bert, I think Bert left.
Here I saying, Jose. Sorry, I have the mic on off.
And I was wondering if you need help.
I was saying if I really cannot know how to get the page up, so that I could go ahead doing it while you are online. So how I go ahead doing that?
Sure, if you want, I can help you as we wait for Patricia.
Yeah.
So, Bert, if you can go to your inbox.
In my email.
Your FIT email.
Okay,
if you go into your FIT, sure.
Hold on.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right, and then that email that I sent you has a link.
I have to go around that link so much. Right now, all right. Yeah, that link.
So if you click on that link,
the www.fit that long link.
The link that you should be seeing it'll say SUNY Play.
No, what I have here, I get into this live online training session. And that was
you're looking at the link for the session, but I emailed you a few minutes ago. I emailed you.
Oh, the one you emailed to me.
No, you put it in the chat.
Okay, that's a different thing.
Yeah, so if you click on that link in the email, I wanted him to have the link because if I put it in the chat.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You want to go ahead or you want me to continue still?
No, you're doing well. So you click on that link. While I wait for Jake to give us.
Okay, that's right. Very good. It came up. So I could so just put my username for FIT.
No, don't put the username yet. You see above that there is a link that says register at. There's a blue link that says HTTPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, so click on that link.
Okay, very good. And it says experience Brightspace for yourself.
Perfect. That's exactly where you need to be. And then below that you have campus email.
Right. So put my FIT.
Correct.
Okay. And he asked me for my first name and last name, right?
Yes, you can put that in there.
Are you seeing me here?
No, but we're visualizing it. We're all visualizing it. And then you put your first name.
I'll visualize it in my sleep.
And then you see the button below there, Bert. It says continue.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, right, yeah. Okay. Continue for instant access.
Perfect. That's the button you have to click. Once you've entered, make sure your email and make sure your email is spelled out correctly. Double check it, and then once you've done that, then go to continue for instant access.
All right. I confirm, yes.
I just got the password reset thing.
Oh, yay! Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna jump on that next.
Okay.
Is it just one moment? Password is required.
Sure. This is where you have to give it a password, Bert, and make it a good one so that you don't forget.
Okay. I could just try my FIT one though. It's a good one.
Yeah, keep it similar to your FIT.
Okay.
I did the same.
Okay, the username has to be the email, seemingly, because now it let me in.
Oh, you're in now?
I'm in.
Yay!
Hallelujah! Oh
That's
boy.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
Okay, Bert, where are you now, Bert?
so I put there the password and I say I confirm that I have, right? Create my sandbox.
Yes.
Go ahead. Just 1 minute.
Sure. Take your time.
Wow, this is really. As Bert's just finding his, I just looking into the sample one.
Okay.
It has.
So
Oh.
it's circling 2%.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Wow, we were
It-
three for three.
3 for 3.
Congratulations.
When it's going into that sample one, it has an orientation checklist, which is nice. What to do before your first class? Did you read the syllabus? Did you order your supplies? So forth. That's pretty nice. I like that. So it's kind of already
Yeah.
there separately, and not
Okay,
just.
100% right. I am in.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you too. You too.
I'll be
All right,
heading out.
welcome to Brightspace.
All right.
I'm
Bye,
heading out.
Stan.
I just want to, it's a pleasure. Jose, you rock. Patricia, thank you for all your information. And
Oh, you're
look
welcome.
forward to seeing all of you on campus one day.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Stan.
Hey, Stan, I just want to thank you for being that voice of reason. Your voice comes out. It's just like that voice that comes from above the clouds, almost like a godlike voice, and just.
You're always very, very specific, which is really wonderful.
Yes, and you too, Patricia. Both of you, let's drill it in. Exactly right to that. That we step by step. Very very detailed. So that's great. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you, Jose. Thank you so
That's
much.
what I was going to say. It's not often that you have somebody who is this expert in the technology part who's also a wonderful communicator. Period.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Well, no, it's the truth. It's not a.
Well, it's a team effort. We all learn, right? We all learn from each other. Again, I always say that it's like a broken record player, but I think it's important for all of us to speak. Everyone say and talk together, and I mean not together, but we all help each other out. Patricia, I'm going to tell Jake, forget about it. Forget
Yes.
about it.
Forget about it. I told you
Alright,
American
Stan-
Greetings used to have
Stan left.
a card.
I didn't
Bert,
see
you okay?
it.
You're
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
Bert?
fine. I looking at the sample course with data. I didn't look at it yet.
Yeah, and Bert, if you're interested, let me know, or Patricia, or anybody, or Stan, if you're ever, if you're interested in archiving a Blackboard course and then importing it as an exam, as a test, because that was the first
Oh,
thing that
I would absolutely love that.
yes.
That's
Because
on our agenda then.
that's hey, that's all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into your development. We don't want to lose any of that,
Okay. All right.
So,
Sounds
so we'll
great.
do that. All right.
But
Okay.
So I'm gonna. Sure, Bert.
Jose, one thing though,
Uh-huh.
you've showed me of my game, you know. I remember that test gen.
Yes,
So that test gen is all set up for Blackboard.
but it also works for here too. It'll work. It'll also work for Brightspace. You don't have to worry about that either.
Oh yeah, for the test gen?
Yeah, I tested. I
Because
tested that too. That's the other thing I test. I want to make sure that you are able. So, Patricia, what this is about is that if you're looking to import a batch of, let's say, 20 plus or 50 plus questions from a generator or from wherever that you might have a document with all these questions, um, that you can import them into Brightspace, just as we were able to do with Blackboard, so that you don't have to go in manually one question by, one at a time.
and you're
Which will
right.
so don't worry, Bert. We haven't lost that feature with Brightspace. You can still do that. So I'll show you how to. I'll show you how to do that. That's not a problem.
Okay, all right, okay. Because
That's
when
that's a really nice picture, Bert.
when I export and import, I export to Blackboard. I didn't see Brightspace. I had to look and see if Brightspace is there.
But it'll just be the sandbox. It won't be real Brightspace.
Yeah.
So I have it on my laptop. When I'm in school, Jose, and I pass by, I will show you so we could look and see.
Sure, definitely. Yeah, I can help you bring in not only the existing exams on Blackboard, but also the test gen with a pool of all those questions. We can bring them in.
Oh, the test gen itself.
We can from the test generator, we can actually create the file that I think is a TXT file that you can actually import to Brightspace with all the questions all in one shot, and you don't have to worry about doing all that work.
Okay, all
So,
right.
so that
Thank
also
you.
is similar to Blackboard, so that hasn't changed.
Okay, thank you.
All right, do I have a 3 o'clock? I don't even know. Oh,
Yeah, it's 55.
oh, Bert, it's you and I.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Ciao bene.
today, right? Yeah.
We had a
Today,
meeting.
right? Remember? Yeah.
I forgot.
We
I
said
thought it
that.
was Patricia I was meeting today, but it's Bert.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So
Right.
so I will see you
Okay.
tomorrow, though.
Thank you
Bye,
very
Bert.
much. Thank you very much.
My
Thank you,
pleasure.
All right,
Patricia.
fine. Thanks.
Bye.